I didn't have no friends, didn't socialize, didn't go outside. Yeah, you would have thought that, you know, with Romantic Homicide and all those songs I dropped in 2022, you would have thought I'd been in like 5 relationships and been through heartbreak multiple times, but man, nah. I had never had a girlfriend before that. None of that type of stuff.
You think what's wrong with that David guy, the rapper, was I think he suffers from arrested developed syndrome. And I remember watching one of his interviews where he talked about he was like homeschooled for a while, and without proper socialization, you know I don't raise kids, I don't have kids of my own, but I would be all for daycare for kids if it wasn't so expensive and if it was safer. So I think school's a good thing to be in. Public school's a good thing to be in. And that's just my views on homeschooling versus public schooling. I think that kids should socialize with their kids. An unsocialized mindset can lead to arrested developed syndrome, as you've seen in some of the stuff. You know, I don't think this is about being edgy and stuff like that. I think, too much isolation can mess up a person's mental state to a point of this kind of stuff. Granted, people need to pay closer attention because it's not about being dark and edgy. Because some of the songs he put out there in the videos, he even called himself a character, Lord of Pain or something like that. And I know about being edgy. My username is Devin Valentine. Devin Valentine is a combination of, Vincent Valentine, the Final Fantasy character, and Marilyn Manson. As you see when I put on the sometimes I put the, digital spooky context on, stuff like that. I know what being edgy is. This is more of a actual correlation to what's going on. Again, I'm saying this is all legend, because we don't really know. We don't know what happened. All I know is that the dude's mental state is not, very well, and that could lead to a lot of other horrendous stuff, you know. And personal life events could change the outcome of how someone's going to turn out sometimes. So that's what I think about this. I think part of it was the homeschooling thing, and and him discovering stuff later on. So proper growth has not taken place. So he suffers from arrested developed syndrome.